everyone, I hope you're all well. Today is Monday the 30th of August and it is the beginning of the end of my kidney stone journey. Hooray! Just a quick catch up for anyone who is new to the channel. I have had chronic pain in my left hand side to varying degrees for years, but back in May it got too much for me. I couldn't handle the pain anymore and I ended up being admitted to hospital. On the 25th of May they discovered that I had a large kidney stone actually within my left kidney, and unfortunately the specialist who deals with that kind of stone was off on leave, so they weren't able to remove it at the time. Hello. They weren't able to remove the stone, however they said that they would put a stent in. So on the 26th of May they took me to theatre and they put a Ureteric Stent in, which is basically like a hollow tube that goes between my kidney and my bladder just to make sure it doesn't get blocked. And they said to me that they would let me out of hospital and that I would go back in to get the operation when the surgeon was back. So I expected it would be within a few days, but the next week still hadn't heard anything and I was in agony. The stent hadn't helped the pain. I was actually getting pain from the stent and we couldn't control the pain. So eventually I ended up being readmitted and I was in for a good few days. They said there was nothing they could do. There still wasn't a surgeon available. However, I was priority 2, which was classed as urgent, and that meant that I would have the stone removed within 4 weeks of getting the stent. Now, if you're good at quick maths, you'll realise that the end of August is not 4 weeks from the 26th of May. So I have basically been left in agony since then. I've not had any more admissions to hospital because there's nothing they can do. I've basically just been told, you know, you need to live with it until we can get the operation. So I've had constant urine infections for which I've had constant antibiotics, which in themselves made me ill. The painkillers have made me ill. I've been in agony. It's just not been a fun time. I basically missed out on the whole of the girls' summer holidays and I've just not been myself basically. And I did put in a complaint to the NHS. I've not heard back yet, and my doctor did try to speak to the surgeon on a number of occasions and kept getting told that he was on leave or that he was in theatre, and it turned out the surgeon seemed to have been off for about 4 weeks of the last few months. So the other thing that I was told was that because I had the stent in, I would need to have the surgery within 3 months at the latest. And again, the 3 months passed last Thursday. So neither of the deadlines have been met. But last Monday, I did get a phone call to say that I have got a date. I have to go in for my surgery on Thursday, the 2nd of September, which is fantastic. And if I'm taken early enough, I might not have to stay overnight. I have to take things just in case, but I might not have to, which would be fab. And today, this morning, I have to go to the Vale of Leaven Hospital for a pre-operative assessment and COVID swab. So I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, not about the assessment, because there's nothing to that. It'll be a few questions, my blood pressure, maybe blood's taken, that'll be that. And the COVID swab, I've had them done when I was admitted to hospital the last couple of times. But I'm a bit worried about the results. Not because I think I've got COVID, I've not got any symptoms, but I'm just terrified that something's going to go wrong and I'm not going to get my operation on Monday. So please keep everything crossed for me that this all goes to plan today. And I will catch up with you very shortly when I'm heading to the hospital. Me here, I've got all my medication that I need to take in, I've got my letter with me and ready to go. Wish me luck, everyone. Right, so I am back home now. I just wanted to let you know how it went. It was fine. I went in and they went through all my medical history, my personal details, make sure everything was right on the system. They went through all my medication, my allergies, that sort of thing. They took my blood pressure and pulse and oxygen levels, they were all fine. They took a urine sample that's getting sent away. They did an ECG, which is just a heart tracing. The only thing that I did have hassle with was the blood tests. I've got really bad veins anyway, so it took 3 nurses 10 attempts to get all the bloods that they needed. They did need a fair few because I'm having a general anaesthetic, and they took separate bloods that were treated differently for transfusion purposes if I do need a transfusion at any point. So that blood gets sent directly to Glasgow Royal, which is where I'm going to be having the operation. I've never been in that hospital. Oh no, I was in it once years ago for a day test thing. But I've never actually been admitted in that hospital. It was the Royal Alexandra that I was admitted to before, when I had the stent put in and things. So I had a COVID swab taken as well. I'll get results of that text to me within 24 hours. So as long as everything's okay now, I have to self-isolate. I'm not allowed to go out the house, and other than that, as long as everything's okay and I don't hear anything back from any of the tests, then it will be full steam ahead on Thursday. So far so good. Keep everything crossed. Good morning, it is now the next day, it's the 31st of August, and I just wanted to let you know the good news. I've just had a text to say my COVID test was negative, yay! So it looks like it's all systems go, and I'm so excited to get, I know it sounds ridiculous that I'm excited to get an operation, but you know what I mean. Just the fact that it's going to be over with soon is just amazing. The one thing I will say that I meant to say yesterday is that the nurse was talking about the recovery, and I thought it was going to be a case of getting the operation, then I'd be great again, but apparently it's a much longer recovery than I thought. Apparently I will be really sore for a while, and I don't work because of my health issues, but if I did, they would be giving me a line for 2 weeks. And she said because I suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome that it might even take me longer than that to recover. So I have to say I'm very shocked, and we have got a day out planned on Sunday, so that's like 3 days after my op. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm okay for that, because we've already paid for it. But even if I'm not 100%, I'll still go. But yeah, I just thought I would let you know that that is where we're at. I'm really happy, it's all systems go. So I will see you tomorrow night, when I will talk about what I need to do the night before and what the plan is for Thursday. See you soon. Well, good afternoon everyone. It is Wednesday, it is the day before my operation, and I'm just lying here contemplating life and my operation tomorrow. I cannot wait to get it over with. It's a gorgeous day, and the only thing spoiling lying here is being in pain. And I've not mentioned to you yet that Christine, who is also here on YouTube and one of my really good friends, is going into hospital the same day as me. So she's getting her procedure for her heart tomorrow as well. She said it was okay to mention it. So yeah, I'm just thinking about both of us going into theatre tomorrow and getting our procedures done, hopefully both of us recovering well, and then getting a chance to meet up for the first time this year, which would be good. Right, so it's 7:30 the night before the big day. It's Wednesday night and I'm exhausted, I'm in agony, so I'm going to get my bag packed and then get into bed. I just thought I would show you what I'm packing, and then once I'm in bed, I'll talk to you and let you know how I'm feeling about tomorrow and what the plan is. So what am I taking? I should be in for just for one night. So I'm taking a pair of pyjamas. I've got my shorts and t-shirt pyjamas because it's usually warm on the wards. And ironically, it says I'm surrounded by idiots. It's my Lion King jammies, and I really hope I'm not surrounded by idiots. It just so happens that that's the only shorts and t-shirt pyjamas I could find. Here's hoping that doesn't come true. I've got my underwear, and I thought it would be quite funny to pack the socks that I made myself. The "if you can read this, put me back in my wheelchair." I thought that might give the nurses a bit of a laugh. So clothes-wise, that should be all that I need. I'll need jammies for overnight, fresh underwear for the next day, and I'll just put back on the clothes that I'm wearing tomorrow because they'll be fresh on anyway. I have got my medication that I need to take with me, and I've got my admissions letter there. I am taking my tablet and my crochet. I always find that playing my tablet or doing my crochet are good distractions from the pain, so I'm going to take both of those with me. And then I'm just going to pack some snacks and drinks. As I'll tell you in a minute, I need to fast from midnight, so I'll probably be hungry once I'm eventually properly round from the anaesthetic and things, and I'm not always keen on hospital food, so I'm going to take a pack of gingerbread digestives because they give me the Christmassy feels, they'll cheer me up, and a wee packet of the baked Tinkleys as well. And drinks wise, I'm not a huge fan of plain water. I really hate it. I only drink it when I have to. So I'm going to take some diluting juice for when I'm coming round from the operation and able to drink again. And then for once I'm feeling better, I'm going to take my Pepsi Max, and I love the lime flavour. So that is everything that I am going to pack in my bag. I'm just going to get that sorted just now, and then I will get into bed and have a wee chat with you about tomorrow. Oh, and of course I will be taking things like deodorant and hairbrush and, you know, the usual sort of things that I can't pack until the morning, and my charger for my tablet and my phone. Can't forget them because that would be a nightmare. Right, so I'll catch up with you soon. Right, so that is my bag all packed. I'm in my bed, I've taken my painkillers, and I just wanted to have a quick chat with you about how I'm feeling about tomorrow. I've got Clyde lying beside me, look at him. Oh, Clyde. I wanted to have a quick chat with you about how I'm feeling about tomorrow and then let you know what the plan is. So, I would say, obviously, I'm slightly nervous about it because I'm getting a general anaesthetic. You know, you can't not be nervous about something like that. I used to work as a nurse in theatre, so I know how well things are done and I know how safe it is and all the rest of it. But there's always that one chance that something could go wrong. So yeah, I'm a wee bit anxious about it. But generally, and I don't know if this makes sense or not, I was messaging Christine earlier, and you maybe heard me mention earlier, Christine's going in for her heart operation tomorrow as well. Just a total coincidence. Ages ago she got her date and I kept moaning that I didn't have a date. And she said to me, wouldn't it be funny if we ended up in hospital on the same day? And she hasn't told anybody what her date is, but she told me. And then when I got the phone call to say it was the 2nd of September, I was like, no way, this is a wind up. And I got in touch with Christine and yeah, it was the same day. So I was messaging her back and forward because she's obviously quite anxious as well. And I said to her, it maybe doesn't make sense, but I kind of feel like a kid at Christmas because it's something I've wanted for such a long time. I mean, I know it's only 3 months or just over 3 months, and to a lot of people that doesn't seem a lot, but when you're in this much pain and when you were expecting it to happen within a week, it's a long time. So there's been this massive build up to it, just like Christmas. And then I know the outcome of it is going to be great. You know, the outcome is the present that I've been wanting for the last 3 months, and that is to be out of pain. So I know it's not going to happen immediately, being out of pain. The nurse was talking to me about it at my pre-op assessment, and I've done a bit of research, and obviously my kidney is going to be quite bruised. Because for anyone who doesn't know, the procedure is I get a general anaesthetic. I don't know in too much detail, but I think I get a general anaesthetic and then they put a scope up in through my bladder, up into my kidney, and they blast the kidney stone there. Because it's such a big stone, they can't blast it externally like what happens with a lot of kidney stones. So they actually need to go into my kidney to do it. So my kidney will be quite bruised and battered. And so it does make sense that I'm going to be sore for a couple of weeks. But you know what? Just knowing that that's the recovery pain is going to be so much easier to handle than not knowing when I was going to be out of this pain. So yeah, weirdly, I feel like a kid at Christmas. This is like Christmas Eve to me. I'm in my bed early because I can't wait for it all to just happen after the build-up. It might sound daft, but I know what I mean. Now, the plan is I have to be at the hospital for 7:30 tomorrow morning because everybody gets admitted at the same time. We don't know whereabout I'll be on the list. I might not get taken until late on in the afternoon. I might get taken first thing. We just don't know. So I need to be there for 7:30, but it's not the hospital that I went to the first couple of times when I got my stent put in and then when they tried to control the pain, which to be honest is a good thing because I wasn't very keen on that hospital. A lot of the staff were great, but the hospital has really seen its day. It's the Royal Alexandra in Paisley, and yeah, it's very run down and just not the best environment. So I know the Glasgow Royal, I've not been in there for years. It's a very old hospital, but I won't know until I get there what it's like. So I'm going in with no preconceptions, but it's the city centre, right smack bang in the middle of Glasgow, and the motorway and everything at that time of the morning, people commuting to work and things, it's going to be busy. So we're looking, it's going to be about an hour and a half for us to get there. So I have to be there for 7:30, an hour and a half to get there. We need to leave at 6. It's a school day as well, which makes it even more stressful because I still need to make sure that Brooke gets off to school okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is I need to get up about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning so that I can get in the shower, so I'm all nice and clean, ready to go, and then get Brooke's lunch sorted and her bag sorted and all the rest of it before we go. That's the plan. And then once I get there, I will just need to play it by ear to see what happens. I believe I will speak to the anaesthetist at some point and the surgeon at some point. I've still to sign the consent form, I've not done that yet. Because I'm getting a general anaesthetic tomorrow, I need to make sure that I fast from midnight tonight. So basically, I've had my dinner at my usual time, so about 5 o'clock I had my dinner. I have got a little snack beside me there, a couple of little biscuits and a can of juice there. So I can have them just after I talk to you. But then from midnight, all I'm allowed is plain water, still water. I'm not allowed sparkling or juice or anything like that. I'm not allowed anything milky tonight. Anything that's likely to stay in your stomach, you're not allowed. So even chewing gum, you're not allowed chewing gum after midnight. So from midnight, I have to just drink plain water. The nurse was saying they do like you to be quite hydrated when you go in. So in the morning when I get up, I will have quite a big drink of plain still water. When I'm taking my tablets, I have to take all of my tablets and medication as normal. And after 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not allowed anything at all, not even plain water. So fasting from midnight, drink plain water through the night if I need it, have a big drink in the morning with my tablets, and then nothing from 6 o'clock. That's the plan. Right, I think that's everything sorted now. Right, so I will go just now and I'll see you in the morning. Night night. Good morning, it's almost 5:30. I'm just going to take my tablets with a big glass of disgusting water. I hate water. It looks cloudy, it's not, it's just condensation. Yeah, so I'm going to take these and have a big drink. This must be new, because any time I've ever had an anaesthetic before, or when I was working in theatres, we always used to tell people just to have a sip of water with their tablets, but the nurse definitely said to take a big glass before 6 o'clock so that I'm well hydrated, so I'm going to do what I'm told. And then I'm going to get on with sorting out Brooke's school bag and the little monster there. Okay, so you get yourself organised and off to school in time, and I'll see you when I get back.
Bye.
Bye. Look, we're heading off. Wish me luck, everyone. Right, that's us here. We got here okay. It's only 7 o'clock, so plenty time. We're not sure exactly where it is. I'm only meant to go in myself, but because I'm in the wheelchair and I don't know how far it is, Jack's allowed to take me in, because if it's far away I won't have the energy to wheel myself. So yeah, I'll catch up with you once I'm in and settled. I just saw the anaesthetist and I'm second on the list, so that is good news. I'm in agony, so I can't wait to get this over with. I sat in the waiting room not speaking to anybody for about an hour. I actually asked the receptionist if they knew I was here, because everybody else was coming in and going straight out. But it's because I'm urology, so everybody else was for a different speciality. But I'm being seen now, so second on the list. Good news. Right, so I've just seen the surgeon and it's all been explained to me what's going to happen. This is basically an information sheet that they have given me, and it all seems okay, although they might need to put another stent in, which wouldn't be fun because that's been causing me a lot of the pain. They won't know until they get in there and see what kind of trauma has been caused to my kidney and my ureter so far. So We won't know until I'm out of the operation if I've had to have another stent put in. If so, it might come out tomorrow, and if not, I would need to come back in a couple of weeks to get it taken out surgically. So that is where we are just now. I'm still in my chair in agony. I need to lie down. I'm kind of hoping that they'll get me to a bed soon. It is 8:30, and yeah, I'm desperately needing to lie down because it's so much more painful when I'm sitting up. But we'll see what happens. It's not bad. I've seen the anaesthetist and the surgeon. I've got a mark on my arm telling them that it's my left-hand side. I said, just don't cut my arm off. It's my kidney that's the issue. Look at the bruises. That's from when they tried to get blood from me on Monday. Look, my hand and my arm. But yeah, so it's all systems go at the moment. I'll definitely be staying in tonight, hopefully home tomorrow. I will need antibiotics. That's as much as I know just now. The other thing he said was, I'm second on the list, which is great, but there are only 2 on the list, so I'm last, basically. Yeah, there's only 2 on the list, so I will definitely be taking this morning. But that would explain why there's such a long wait if he's only doing 2 a day. Kind of surgeon, is he? I've been messaging Christine because, as you know, she's getting her stent operation today. She messaged me this morning saying that she was up and about and getting organised to go, and she was anxious but okay. And I messaged her to say I don't get a phone signal here at all, but I've managed to connect to the hospital Wi-Fi, so I should be able to keep in touch with her through WhatsApp, which is how I'm keeping in touch with my mum and Jack as well. But she doesn't seem to be getting them. It's not been marked as red, so I'm assuming that she's not getting a signal in the hospital that she's in. It's a shame we're in different hospitals. It would have been fun if we were in the same. But yeah, so I hope you're okay, Christine. I'm keeping everything crossed for you. Still sitting here, still in agony. Not seen anyone for over half an hour. Oh, I'm roasting. I just want this over with. Right, the doctor's been in, taking a list of my medications and written up all my medications on my card decks, and apparently I'm waiting for the nurse to come back from her break so that I can get admitted now. Still sitting here. I'm still waiting. Ooh. Right, that's me all changed. Do I look bra with my Ted stockings and my hospital gown? I'm wearing neck pants as well, but you're not getting to see them. Nobody wants to, trust me. And I got weighed as well. 10 stone 2. I was quite impressed at that. I was expecting to be a lot higher. So yeah, there we go. So that's me all admitted. Got my name band on. Just waiting to go now. It's 2:45. I'm on the ward now, feeling very woozy, a bit sick. Got a sore throat from the tube. Not heard anything about how it went, but I've not got a catheter in, which is good. I think I have got a stent in though. But yeah, that is the update at the moment. I'll come back to you when I know more. Dinner time. Chicken, mushroom and pepper sauce, mashed potato and rhubarb crumble and custard. Don't think I'll be eating much. 6:15. Got into my own jammies. Still constantly bursting for the toilet and can't go. Causing a lot of pain. But I had some painkillers, so hopefully that will help. Fingers crossed. Right, so the doctor's been round and said that it all went very well. They didn't need to put another stent in, which is great. They managed to fragment the stone right up, so I won't need any follow-up, which is amazing. It will be painful for me to go to the toilet for the next few days, and it'll be a bit gritty, TMI, but other than that I should be perfectly fine and on the way to recovery, so I'm really happy. Can't wait to get back to normal again. Hello again, it's 10:15 and I have just had a bit of a setback. The fact that I'm still constantly feeling like I'm bursting for the toilet and trying to pee made the nurse think that it's not just irritation from the surgery that I might be retaining urine. So they scanned my bladder to find there's an awful lot more in there than there should be. So I'm having to get a catheter put in. That basically means it's going to delay my discharge in the morning because we need to wait for the doctor to say it's okay to take it out, and then they need to make sure that I'm passing enough before I can get home tomorrow. So it's a bit of a setback, but not much. I'm actually surprised that I didn't have one in when I came out of theatre. It might have saved this issue, but who knows. So I just wanted to give you that wee update. Good morning. I had a much better night than expected last night. Once I got the catheter in, I was so much more comfortable, and I managed to sleep all night, which was great. So I've just seen the doctor. The plan for today is I'm going to get the catheter out, and as long as I'm peeing okay, they're going to scan my bladder a couple of times just to make sure that I'm not retaining urine, and then I can get home. So that is fab. I've not had any breakfast, it was too early for me, but they said that they'll give me a roll or something later on, so that will be perfect. So I'm still getting out today, just a little bit later than planned, but that is all good. Right, a quick update, it's 2:30 and I'm still lying in the hospital bed, as you can see. I've been for a pee, too much information, but didn't pass enough. Even more information, so I'm still having to drink loads and wait until I manage to pass more urine before I can get out. Jack has already left, I think he's probably in Glasgow already, but I didn't mention earlier there's no visiting allowed just now because of COVID, so if he is here he'll be wandering about Glasgow until it's time to pick me up. He'll be allowed to come up to the ward to get me, but nobody's allowed to actually visit just now. It's only certain circumstances that people are allowed in to visit. So that is where we're at the moment. I will keep you up to date. See you soon. Freedom! 25 to 5, that's me in the car. Unfortunately, I've had to come home with a catheter in because my bladder's just not playing the game. So I've got supplies to keep the catheter in for a couple of weeks, and then I'll come back to the clinic in a couple of weeks to get it out and see if my bladder's going to behave itself and actually work. But at least I am going home, so Jack's just picked me up. They let him come right up onto the ward for me, which was good. So we're going to get a McDonald's on the way home because I'm starving. I've not had anything to eat today. The food in there was rank anyway, but breakfast was too early for me, and then I wasn't feeling well at lunchtime, so I'm hungry now. So I'm going to head home just now, and then tomorrow I will catch up with you and tell you how the whole experience has been. Hello everybody, it's Saturday. I am glad to be home and I'm not in pain. Woohoo! I'm slightly uncomfortable. I know that there's somebody been in poking about there, but I'm not in pain. Although the catheter is very uncomfortable, and Brooke's given me a right slagging for having a pee bag on my leg. But other than that, yeah, so I am doing good. I'm just chilling out today because we've got a day out planned tomorrow. And Brooke and I are just about to watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas because it's September, so we need to start talking about Christmas. What?
Saturday what they did.
Yay! So yes, we are just chilling out. Right, so it is now Monday morning, so I had my operation last Thursday. This is now Monday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 full days of recovery, and I have to say, pain wise, I am feeling so much better. We had a day out yesterday, which I have vlogged, and that'll go up after this vlog, and it was so good to be out and not have any pain. It was amazing. I've been a bit tired, but that's to be expected. I've got chronic fatigue syndrome anyway, and I haven't done much over the last few months. So that's to be expected, and I'm used to that. I can handle that. I did get a wee bit achy by the end of the day, but I think it was because I'd been sitting so long, and my kidney had obviously been working a bit more as the day had been going on. So I think that's why it got a wee bit achy, but it certainly wasn't sore. The only problem I've got now is a catheter. I'm really struggling with this blooming catheter. It's the only thing stopping me getting back to normal. It's very uncomfortable all the time. It's actually sore when I'm sitting because, I know it's TMI, maybe shut your ears if you don't want to hear this bit, but I basically got a tube up my pee bit and it hurts to sit on. I don't think it would be so bad if you were a man because you can sort of angle things, if you get what I mean. but you've not got any choice but to sit on it when you're a female. And being in the wheelchair, I'm sitting on it constantly. I don't get a chance to stand up and walk about, because when I am sort of lying down and stretched out, it's nowhere near as sore as when I'm sitting on it. And it got to the stage this morning that I actually felt like I was bursting again, and I thought, oh, have I maybe got a blockage? But I think the tube was kinked because of the way that I was sitting on it. So it got so bad that I was actually going to take it out myself. Now, I do not advise anybody to do that. I was a former nurse. I've taken catheters out hundreds of times, so I know how to do it safely, but I didn't have the right kind of syringe. I did actually go to do it, but the syringe that I've got isn't the right tip, so I wasn't able to deflate the balloon and take it out, which is probably a good thing. It was a minute of madness, but I just had enough of it. And I really don't see why it's going to take 2 weeks for my bladder to get back to normal. I would think it would be fine by now, but I'm just going to have to play that one by ear and see how it goes. If it does get too bad, I'll need to go to the doctor and ask him to take it out. But I'll try and put up with it as much as I can just now. But honestly, that is the only thing stopping me getting back to normal now. And it is really frustrating, because I had it in my head that I would get the operation and a few days later I'd be back to full speed. There's loads of stuff that I need to do in the house. I want to get my craft room sorted again. I was really hoping that I would be feeling up to getting that done, but sitting up is very uncomfortable, verging on sore, and bending down is agony. So it's kind of stopping me doing that as well. But again, I'll just do little bits as I can, and hopefully I'll get there. So I'm just going to end this hospital and recovery vlog here. If anything changes with the catheter, I'll let you know in another vlog. But basically, the whole thing from start to finish was fairly straightforward. The pre-op was fine, apart from not being able to get my bloods. And the nurses were great, and they persevered and they got it eventually. The actual day of the operation was weird. It wasn't what I expected. I expected to go in, get in a gown, get in a bed, and then get all the paperwork done. But it was the opposite way around. I got the paperwork done, and then about 10 minutes before I was due to go round to theatre, I got my gown on, and I wasn't even put in a bed until I got round to theatre. And I think it's because they promote wellness rather than illness, because it's not an operation because you're ill as such. So they want you to be as normal as possible, and people normally walk round, but I wheeled round to theatre. So yeah, that side of it was not what I expected, and it was more painful because it's easier for me lying down. But it was a good thing, I suppose, if you're not like me and you're normal. I got taken round to theatre about 11:15, I think, and I was back up on the ward. I remember asking the time at 1:30, so I wasn't in theatre or recovery too long. I vaguely remember being in recovery and telling the nurse that I was feeling sick and that I was bursting for the pee but couldn't do it, and I was quite sore, so she gave me more fentanyl, and that made me more comfortable. And then I kind of slept most of the day after that, apart from waking up to try and pee and not being able to, which is why I ended up with the catheter in. I got that out the next day, found that I still couldn't pee and had to get the catheter in again, but at least I still got discharged. The staff were amazing. There was a couple of nurses that were there just to do their job, and that was it, but most of them were fantastic. I was so glad the night nurse was on the ball on the Thursday night, because if it wasn't for her scanning my bladder and putting the catheter in, I would have been in agony. But she was on it, and that was all good. I was so glad they still let me home, even though I had the catheter in. I was dreading having to stay in, especially with it being the weekend. Nothing gets done at the weekend. Although I suppose if they had kept me in the extra night, they could have tried taking my catheter out just the next day, and maybe I wouldn't be in this position now. But I am. I've not got an appointment to go back. The secretary's going to give me one. But it's a clinic. It's not the same secretary that waited months to give me my operation appointment, so hopefully I won't need to wait too long. I do need to go back to Glasgow Royal for the clinic, which is a nuisance. I was hoping to be able to go to a closer hospital, but never mind. Yeah, so generally my whole experience has been fine. If there's any questions that any of you have about any of it that I've maybe not thought to mention, please just let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about any of it, as you've gathered. If any of you have got an operation planned in the near future that you're going to have a similar experience, and you're not sure what to expect, hopefully this will have helped you a little bit. If you've had a similar experience, let me know. Was it the same for you? How did you get on? All of that. And I am pleased to hear that Christine also, it wasn't that strange that we ended up in on the same day, getting our procedures done on the same day, but Christine got out the next day as well, and I'm sure she's put a video up of her experience, and she is recovering slowly but surely as well. So that is great news, Christine. I'm so pleased for you. So yeah, that is us. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. Any questions, please feel free to ask. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up button for me, and I will see you in our next video. Thanks everyone. Bye.